What's up, Hoops Horizon family? You already know what time it is. Caitlin Clark continues to be the story wherever she goes. Whether it's the basketball court, a red carpet, or now even a golf course, this woman draws a crowd. But this time, it wasn't just a few fans showing up for some fun photos or autographs. Thousands of people came out early, yes, early, just to watch Caitlin Clark swing a golf club. You heard that right. Fans are camping out and cheering her on like it's the Final Four. Let's break down what went down, who showed up, and why this little golf outing is turning into yet another viral Caitlin Clark moment. So here's how it started. A small charity-style golf event was scheduled early in the morning, around 8:30 a.m., and no one really thought it was going to be that big of a deal. But by the time Caitlin Clark was about to tee off, the course was packed. Hundreds, if not thousands of people surrounded the area, many wearing Indiana Fever jerseys, chanting, recording, and just trying to catch a glimpse of her in action. Think about that. It's golf, not basketball. Yet fans still pulled up like it was a playoff game. And you could see it in the crowd. Indiana Fever gear everywhere. More than half the people out there were repping her team. That's not normal for a casual off-season event. That's star power. That's brand impact. That's Caitlin Clark. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Caitlin wasn't alone. Two of her Fever teammates, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, showed up too. And not as players this time, but as caddies. Yeah, imagine that. Fever teammates in full Indiana Fever gear, walking the course as Caitlin's caddies. It was lighthearted, fun, and honestly, kind of surreal. The fans loved it. Cameras were everywhere, and to be honest, that image alone, 3 Fever players together in the off-season, laughing and hanging out, is exactly the kind of energy that keeps fans locked in, even months after the season ended. Now, yes, technically both Sophie and Lexi are free agents at the moment, but let's be real. The Fever would be crazy to let them go. You'd need near max-level contracts to replace the chemistry and grit those two bring, both on and off the floor. And that's what fans were thinking too. It wasn't just a fun golf day. It was kind of a statement. This is our squad, these are our players, and Caitlin Clark is the center of it all. But let's get back to the scene for a moment. Caitlin steps up for her tee shot. The crowd goes dead silent. You can feel the anticipation. This is 8:30 in the morning, and everyone's holding up phones, cameras, trying to catch that first swing. And it wasn't an easy shot either. The hole started right over a body of water. You slice it even a little, it's gone. But Clark cleared it cleanly. Smooth swing, crowd goes wild. Now, some fans online started overanalyzing the way she teed up the ball. You know how people get, frame by frame, zooming in, saying, "Ooh, that must mean she's hurt or her groin's bothering her." But that's just noise. The truth is, she looked fine. She looked comfortable. And honestly, it was just Caitlin being Caitlin. Focused, relaxed, having fun with the crowd. However, one thing that did raise some eyebrows was talk of a possible hamstring issue. Some fans were asking whether she's dealing with a lingering injury from the Fever season. Remember, she had that tough stretch toward the end of last year. She was limping through a few games, taking some rest time, and clearly wasn't 100%. The last thing anyone wants to see is her pushing through something again, especially if she's gearing up for Team USA or future workouts. The reaction online was like, if she's hurt, why is she even swinging a golf club? But from everything we saw, there's no real evidence of an injury. She was moving fine, smiling, chatting with the crowd, taking photos. Nothing about her body language screamed hurt. So maybe it's just fans being a little too protective. And who can blame them? The Fever season didn't exactly end the way anyone hoped, and fans are desperate to see her back fully healthy and dominating again. Still, there's something deeper about this event that caught my attention, and honestly, it says a lot about her influence. It's been about 4 months since Caitlin Clark last played a competitive basketball game. 4 months without seeing her lace up, hit a logo three, or drop a no-look dime. And yet, she's still pulling massive crowds for golf. That's insane. Most players can't even get fans to tune into a game when it's televised, let alone show up at 8 a.m. for a casual tee shot. And that's the part that gets me, because it shows her fan base isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about her, the person, the story, the energy. People feel connected to Caitlin Clark in a way that's rare in women's sports, or any sport really. She's become a symbol of what's possible when talent meets charisma, meets relentless work ethic, and fans are riding that wave wherever she goes. But let's be honest, as exciting as it is to see her out there, this also highlights something kind of concerning. The long gap she's facing before potentially playing again. If the rumored WNBA work stoppage or lockout actually happens, Caitlin might not play another official basketball game until 2027. That's wild! Nearly 3 years off the court. For someone at the peak of her popularity and influence, that could seriously affect her rhythm, visibility, and momentum. People online are split. Some say her brand's strong enough to survive any downtime. Others, including some insiders, think the opposite, that without consistent game action, even the biggest hype machine starts to fade. And that's why events like this matter so much. Every fan appearance, every casual moment keeps her in the spotlight, keeps people talking, keeps the energy alive.
Now, I've got to mention this because it's starting to sound familiar. Remember how before Caitlin Clark, the WNBA headlines were always about player pay issues, league losses, and off-court complaints? That was the narrative for years. Then Caitlin Clark shows up. Ratings skyrocket, arenas sell out, merch flies off shelves, and suddenly the league feels alive again. But lately, that energy's started to slip. The conversation online feels like it's going backwards, back to pre-Clark WNBA talk. And that's not Caitlin's fault. Honestly, some insiders believe the league itself might be fumbling the bag, trying too hard to spread the spotlight instead of riding the wave that's right in front of them. Instead of embracing the Caitlin Clark phenomenon fully, there's this awkward tension, like they're worried about it overshadowing everything else. But that's the thing, it already has. And that's not bad. Every league needs a face. The NBA had Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. The WNBA finally has Clark. Don't fight it. Use it. And that brings me back to what we saw today. Because even if this was just golf, the crowd showed that Caitlin Clark's star power hasn't gone anywhere. You could see the joy in people's faces. Parents bringing their kids, young girls holding up signs with her name, people traveling hours just to watch her tee off. It's wholesome, it's powerful, and it's proved that what she represents goes far beyond basketball. She's not just the best shooter in women's college history or the Fever's cornerstone. She's the event. Every time she steps out, it becomes news. And that's exactly what we witnessed. Thousands of fans waking up early, driving out to a golf course just to see Caitlin Clark swing a club. You can't make that up. You can't fake that. That's real fandom.
Now, before we wrap up, let's not ignore what this means for the Fever and the WNBA as a whole. The Fever need to keep that energy alive going into next season, assuming we get a season and not a lockout. Because the demand is there. The audience is ready. The question is whether the league will embrace it or let it fade out. Events like this prove that Caitlin can draw crowds anywhere. So imagine what the Fever could do with the right marketing, healthy roster, and consistent playtime. And if you're the WNBA, you should be watching this golf outing very closely. Because this wasn't a sanctioned event. This was just Caitlin Clark showing up and still managing to outdraw what some teams see in the regular season games. That's a wake-up call. At the end of the day, it's moments like this that remind us why Caitlin Clark is such a phenomenon. She's relatable, she's competitive, she's magnetic, and she gives people something to root for.
Whether it's a step back three or a tee shot over water, fans show up every single time. So, yeah, thousands of fans showed up early just to watch her play golf. And you know what? That's not crazy. That's Caitlin Clark. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more coverage on Caitlin Clark, the WNBA, and everything happening around women's basketball, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next Hoops Horizon update. Because if Caitlin Clark's the story, you know we're going to be right here breaking it all down for you. See you next time, Hoops Horizon family.